Hello, beautiful people. This is the Opinion TV show. My name is Zipporah Osei-Boateng. I'm not doing this alone. I am doing this with my beautiful, articulated ladies. On my direct right is the beautiful...
Hey, sexy, sassy sang, Samoki Tete.
And we have Lady A.
Zainab Aisha Passa.
The Opinion is available on all social media handles. We are on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Today, we are discussing bullying in SHS. How can it be kept? I'm sure you are interested. We will be back to digest this topic. Stay tuned. Today we have a special guest in our midst, and he is in the person of IBK. IBK, welcome to the show.
Thank you, my beautiful sister.
It's
Thank
good
you for
to
having
see
me.
you again.
Yeah.
The last time was magic.
You ladies rock.
Thank you.
No wonder he came back.
I know, right?
No wonder he came back to
This is a tagi besia.
Hey!
Okodo.
I'm happy to bring him back here. That's nice.
We are all looking lovely. Sang, you're looking beautiful.
Thank you. Thanks to Purple Dream.
I can't help it.
Oh.
I can't help it.
Slay for Christ.
So today, we are discussing bullying in SHS. How can it be curbed? Okay. Recent times, there's been instances of violence, bullying in most of our SHSs, and we want to discuss how we can go about this thing to bring some sanity into our secondary schools, and also what is the deep-rooted issue, what actually is going on, how we can curb all this to bring some sanity. All right, so Sang, what do you think is the reason for all this bullying and instability, violence, chaos in our SHS?
Thank you very much. I didn't expect you were starting with me, honestly.
Sorry.
But I feel, bullying is a form of aggressive behavior towards another with the intent of causing harm or intimidating the person. So that's what we are looking at. Now, how it can be kept. I think let me start from where it's starting from, where we feel it is stemming from. And we can trace it to the home. Then it comes to the school itself. And so children come from their homes. Two types. It could be that a child is excessively loved at home. So it makes the child feel superior over the others. And so when they go into a school setting or a setting where there are many people there, then they try to exert that kind of special, ness, for want of a better word, towards the others. And it comes in the form of trying to intimidate others. I say this because, some of us who attended certain types of schools, you realize that, yes, your school might be higher than maybe your social class, but your parents want the best for you. So they've taken you to that form of type of school. And you find yourself among very rich people, and you wonder how children know that this person is richer than I am. It's shocking. So the child comes to school, it's raining, they see some type of cars picking others, and then they know that, okay, these people, we are richer than them. So they speak anyhow towards their friends, they laugh at them. And mind you, bullying is not only causing physical harm. It comes in emotional harm as well, abusing your colleagues verbally and stuff like that. So that is one side, where the person is richer than the others and exerts that force. There are also those who are not rich per se, but then they have also found this, a behavior coping mechanism. They come from a home where they are not loved. And so they are finding some coping mechanisms. So they come to school and the fittest will survive kind of mentality. They bring it there. You can't tell me anything. I'll try to intimidate you, beat you. And they go excessively towards their mates or even juniors. So I think that's where it's coming from. As to how it will be kept, I think it's a very broad discussion. So allow others to come in here.
Wafa K.
Wafa one. Wafa one because I'm the officially endorsed Wafa in this whole country. Officially.
Wafa one.
Wafa Tifi. Me Wafa Sinano.
IBK.
Yeah.
Do you think we can attribute this behavior to lack of parental control or parental guidance?
I think it's a fact. Lack of parental control can lead to some of these behaviors amongst children. And I think that the upbringing of children should not only be left to teachers. I think parents, if you look at the ratio now, teachers do about 60% and then parents do 40%. But it should be the other way around. Parents should do about 60% of the upbringing of children. Imbibe into their children positive behavioral attitudes. And then the other 40% will come from the schools, the teachers, and also even the entire community. It takes all and sundry for the upbringing of children. You see, those days, way back, who dare you to respect somebody outside? Everybody's child was a neighbor's child. So you mess around, your daddy is not at home, your mom, even your parents are there right before them, somebody else will discipline you.
Yeah, so there was communalism.
That was communalism, which was really good for our society. I don't know where this alien attitude or behavioral attitude came from. And parents are to be blamed. Most parents are to be blamed. We have over-pampered our children. Most of these kids or brats spout from the home before they get to the schools. Yeah? And we don't have to blame anybody. Before they get out of hand, you send them to school because you have sat aloof to watch your children misbehaving, pick up attitudes that are not human. Excuse my language, some of the children behave like animals. That they are not, I have to be blatant. And this thing, I'm a parent, so this thing hits me.
Home.
And I think the attitude in the society, what we are experiencing now, I also have to put blame on our authorities. For instance, the Ghana Education Service, it didn't used to be like this. Who told you that you can compare children upbringing abroad to the children upbringing to the African child? They are in different environments.
Exactly.
We find ourselves in different environments.
And matters have been worse ever since they took out this corporate pandemic.
Yes, it has to be. Listen, I will entreat the current education minister to reinforce and bring this thing back. President Mahama, if I know he's watching, and you have to tell President Mahama, he has to enforce the corporal punishment back. Our children are getting out of hand. The fooling and the stupidity is becoming too much in our society.
The teachers are now like students, and students are like parents.
How can you say that a child who goes around bullying other people's children should not be caned, should not be disciplined? What are we talking about? Is that society that we want to witness? Is that society that we want our children to grow in? This is up here, and we have to voice out. I'm a parent, I'm not happy. Look,
the teachers they are helpless.
I go
to teachers, and you know that
what
they are
I do.
helpless.
Maybe it's because of my background. As a child of an educationist, I grew up on campus. Teach anybody, discipline obwa. So that training. Caning is part. In the Bible, it talks about sparing the rod and spoiling the child.
So let me say it in Ghana.
Yeah.
In the Bible, it says, "Bull."
It's a bull for you.
She trusted Lekman.
Hey, you got it right.
Right. So you put it in tree. Simply put, also say a jimisem e batabo frakuma hua. Yeah, the intenswa in the white jimmy anything. You see, the holy books even talks, and I know that my brothers and sisters in the Muslim also have the same.
Yeah.
Because as human beings, we will go off, we will go wayward, and sometimes we don't need verbal communication. You need discipline. You need to cane the person for them to feel the pain. That is why in the army, people are being disciplined. People are slapped. If you go wrong, you'll be slapped. It's part of it. Why can't you go to the army and tell them that they should remove slapping out of their discipline or their training? You see, because in the army, they will tell you that 10% casualty is allowed. If you go to training school, before you are 60 people, and before you complete and 10 is gone or 6 is gone, it's up to them, it's okay. It's allowed. And we have to watch this in our space. We are the citizens, we put the people up there to oversee and control or make, what do you call it, make laws for us. If we think that is not helping, we have to tell them that bring what will make our children, be good kids and have civilized up there, so that can help the society. You understand?
Okay. Let me go to Lady Aisha. Lady A, you grew up in the barracks. How was it like? The discipline. How was it like? Do you think that in this day and age, parents are disciplining their children as it should, or we are just over-pampering our children?
For a barracks girl, and I'll forever be one. Some people, sometimes when you are trying to instill those kind of morals in people, they look at you like, oh, old school. Some will even say it to your face. Okay, it's fine. The old school is what you are saying, and you admire it, and you wish to be, but it didn't just happen. It took a lot of discipline to be where some of us find ourselves. So I am not, this abuse thing we're talking about in high schools, they go beyond just physically, like Samuki said. I mean, verbally, we are bullying. The children are being bullied. We even now, by the prevalence of social media, we have the cyberbullying as well.
Yeah.
So people are bullying people on the internet, by emails and the rest, threatening, harassing, and all that. You don't even get to see or know who is bullying you, but they are saying all sorts of things, defamatory things to you, and you're hearing them, and you are helpless. So all of them is causing a lot of, havoc to the society. And to think that they take you to school in the context of what we're discussing, because we're talking about the high school.
Yeah.
What is your business in school? To go and learn. So let's even assume that you've been over-pampered at home. Let it stay in your home. Don't bring it to the school.
Yeah.
Your only business in school is to learn. And so you would also, by virtue of going to learn, would not make it uncomfortable for somebody else who came there for that purpose and nothing else. So because then you derail them from the purpose of them also being there, because they are sharing a space with you. You make it uncomfortable for them to also be there. In your status, wherever you come from, you happen to find yourselves in the same place. Make it convenient for all of you to, stay there. So I think that, yes, I agree with him when he says that parents are to be blamed, because I remember my daughter was in Wesley Girls. I'll mention the name of the school. And there was one of the visiting days, I was there, and they've been assigned, that time she was in Form 1, they've been assigned, roles. So they were supposed to be cleaning the bathroom and the toilets. And for about 2 hours, after they rang the visiting bell, I'm expecting to see her. I've driven all the way from Accra to Cape Coast to go and see my child, and for 2 hours, she's not coming out. And so later on, a friend of hers came to tell me that, it's because she hasn't finished with her assigned chores, and that is why I said, she hasn't been punished. They said no, but she hasn't finished, and so that is why. So eventually when she joined me, I asked the princess, why? Like, how come you took this while? Like I said, Mommy, because the other person that I have been paired with to clean with me chose not to clean, because she said that it's not something she does at home, so she can't do it in school. Here? Come and see. I flipped. And I said, take me to your house, mistress. How dare she? Who does she think she is? She thinks she's a princess. You're my princess too. I mean, don't give me that kind of moves that my child is okay to clean the toilet so that you can go and use it, but your child is not. So and it's not her fault. That is what she's been taught. So she thinks that, but you can do that in the house, where your house elves can clean your toilet bowl for you and all that. But when you come to school, learn to do it yourself. And so it is the morals and the discipline and the teachings of it is what matters. She hasn't been taught. So for her, she felt that by saying, and because my daughter knows the right thing to do, and she knows that if she doesn't do it, she will be punished. And if I also go by the same way that she's, or the attitude that she's also taking,
the job will not be done.
And we'll both get punished. Then I'll do it. And
now,
I said,
now
no.
let me chip in. I said
no, never do that again. Report her. The next time she does that, report her. I took her to the house mistress and I told her, this is it. That child is not better than my child. And so if she's going to be using the toilet and the washroom, then I don't care wherever she's coming from, she needs to learn to do the needful.
I
and
think
so
that
the woman immediately called her. She came, apologized to my girl, and she was also given another task to do. Do you understand? So it starts from home before you take it to school.
I think the
Do you
issue of
understand?
superiority, I just want to add something quickly
Yeah.
to what you said. I realized that was why back in the days they had like achimota sandals, we have
Yeah.
school uniforms, so that we all look the same in the school.
It's
So nobody is
there
higher
these days. Now,
than,
it's still there these
But
days.
it looks like even though it is there, people don't understand why that was the case. We are supposed to have a level playing ground where we are all the same. We live in a society amicably, and we learn from the SHS, so that when we move outside the school,
It will shock
go.
you to know that even the children from rich families do not misbehave.
Oh, they do. Not all,
I
but
mean,
they
it's
do.
a lot of bullying
They do.
compared to those who are not even rich.
When it
Those
comes
are
to
not
bullying,
bullying.
it's not even
There's
about the
ratio
rich people.
to that, but
No, that's what I'm
you might
saying,
have a
that
point.
there are 2 points. People
Yes.
behave differently. Either the person feels extremely superior, and I have so many, because I attended Engelbert. I have so many examples of that.
That's what the rich
In fact,
kids
there are
tell it.
people,
It's
after
only a
school,
few of them.
It's only they feel
You see,
entitled.
and then
but, just a few
you
of
know
them.
that even after
This
school,
bullying, and you for makwa bully.
And American.
but I'm saying that
Not from the.
It's from the upbringing
You see,
and where they are coming
Well,
from.
okay, do you think that
I think it's where they are coming from.
as parents, because you cannot tell me that you've not seen signs of your child being a bully right from childhood. We see it in the homes, the way they react towards their friends, their siblings, their cousins, and all that. You can see the tendencies in there. So, do you think that as parents we just overlook or we neglect the fact that no, this child, I'm seeing something in you. If I don't check it, when he or she grows, he or she can become a bully in future.
the answer is in two folds.
Yeah.
One, it could be yes. Two, it could be oversight. The yes is where some parents think that when their children are misbehaving, it makes them feel superior because of that.
But that's the point I was coming to, that you can't say rich people's kids are few who don't.
No,
if you go,
they do.
exactly,
Look,
because it is the bad
look.
upbringing that brings about that.
Yes, you see-
how many poor people are pampered in their homes?
No.
You
But
get it.
Frank,
You
Frank,
can't have
for the
statistics
poor-
to prove
for the-
that. So let's
I
not
know,
go that
but
tangent.
you
It doesn't work
don't
like
say
that.
How many poor people are being pampered?
Because we were sounding like
it's
we
not just
are
about the
leaving
pampering.
the rich people
No,
out
no,
of
no,
that.
no,
It's a canker there, and it must be pointed out. That's my point.
If you watch what is happening now, we are not saying that people from poor background might not end up misbehaving. But if you look at the numbers, anybody who comes from a very humble home, ne maame akasa kyerɛ na ne papa ma na sonson ne ho. Okwa asa na yedi kan ka kyerɛ okwa meba I'm coming. Look, my son is in Preston. I don't want to, but I'm saying that I've grew up on secondary school campus, and I've seen behavior of students, and I went to boarding house myself. Most of the times, the rich kids, most of them, you see, the problem is because their parents are normally not at home.
Them.
It's either by work, they are always traveling, they are always on the move. So they are left in the hands of house helps and drivers to take care of them. You see, so they don't really have that parental upbringing. And some too are left with their grannies. And an few ones.
Do you know who I am? You know?
And a check it on another.
See,
The right people have not seen a poor child.
no,
we are not saying.
I'm telling you. I went to Fatima Girls. There are people from Adisco and stuff. We know what they do.
All these kids, some of them are from good homes, some of them are from poor homes. They all do misbehave. But we are saying that the canker now starts from the overly pampered rich kids.
Exactly. And you see, let me cut in here. Even where the seniors aid them. So when they also become seniors, even they as your mates misbehave towards you or bully you because the senior self. I have a personal experience. When I was at Infantiman, I was in the dorm. Then they called one girl who is perceived as rich at the time. And a senior ate with her in Asanka, you know, and Edinburgh Port. And she called me to go and wash the dish. Oh, someone kicked a menu. You get it? But Ayobia, somebody who is timid, will do it. Do you know what they are telling you? Oh, you're special. That person is special. So they become Form 2, Form 3, and then they want to bully their mates. They want to bully the juniors. The rich have a big problem when it comes to this thing. It's a very
so
huge
the problem. You see, this is how it should be approached. All the schools should have a zero tolerance for bullying, where anti-bullying measures will be sent out clear that these are the consequences. Before you bring your children to school, you are told that if your child commits this offense, this is going to be the punishment. If you think you are too big to oblige to the rules and regulations of that school, you find yourself out. That is how it's supposed to be done.
Don't we see favoritism creeping in?
That's why I'm saying that.
Even bribery.
That's why I'm saying
We
that.
find it
Until
creeping in.
we put our foot down to do this.
Exactly.
And the headmasters need the support of the Ghana Education Service
Yes.
to back them.
Yeah.
To support them. You see, they come threaten the headmasters and senior housemasters and senior housemasters that, hey, I'm a lawyer, I'm this, so I'll take you to court. And so what?
Because this,
Your child cannot be so special from other people's children. If you think you have money, why do you bring your child to this
Why
school?
don't you train him in the house?
In the house.
Because
So
you see,
until-
what Wofake, I want to add to what you are saying, and sorry I'm cutting in,
Oh, no, that's
is
fine.
the fact that when we went to school, we knew who everybody's father was and mother.
Yeah.
Lady A, their child, all her friends know. Lady A, don't you know? Lady A's. So it brings this thing about them, and they walk, on high horse in the school, and they make it. So
it's a discipline thing.
That's
So you see,
the
the
point.
approach. This is how the approach is supposed to be. So
You know that is my child, but she's very disciplined.
when I told I've already from the infant. I tell my children, I normally pay regular visit to my kids' school. I'll go sit with their class teachers, especially. Oh, how is your performance? In which area? How is he doing? What's the attitude, general attitude on campus and school? If there are problems,
I
they
like
tell
that
me.
question. What's the general attitude on campus?
Yes, and then also I always tell their teachers that, Jack, men are me banono. But you say a mama, but Odin say who guano.
I said the same
Guano
thing.
6. No guano at the my child guano at the right place. What I wouldn't want is to just hit my child anywhere. Missing guano. And I tell you, Sammy, I've told your teacher. I've told them that if you misbehave, they should discipline you.
And the bad thing is that the children now know that the teachers cannot cane them.
Yes.
So it makes them.
Oh, here
stubborn.
you but teacher, baby,
I think 2 weeks ago I said the same thing to my son's teacher. I said this boy is not doing this, he's not doing that, he's doing this. I'm like, I am giving you the permission.
Yeah.
Beat him if you have to. Discipline him if you have to. Hey, Madam Debio, I'm like, no, he is my son. I don't have any problem with that. I don't believe in men Kwalana. I don't believe in that. I said, the boy was standing right there. I said, if you misbehave again, I'm giving your teacher the opportunity.
I
and the
think
permission
even the
to
boy
discipline.
knowing that you've said this will even behave.
I said,
That is how it's supposed to be.
He must discipline you to the core.
Yeah.
I told him, I'm not like those other parents. If you misbehave, I'll let them
And
beat
some
you.
of the things that some of the parents are doing is that because they don't get time for their kids. You see, it's not money that answers
So
everything.
that was going to be my next question. That Lady A, do you think that in this generation of parents, we are so fixated on making money, materialistic things, So much so that we are not monitoring our children. We are not spending time with our children. We don't even know who our children's friends are. We don't know what our kids are watching even on YouTube. Because some of these bullying thing, it will shock you to know that there are videos of some of these things on YouTube that these children watch. So are we so fixated on money? Money. Both mother and father, they leave home at 5 a.m. and come back sometimes 8:30, 9 p.m. When you come, you are tired, you are going to sleep. What time will you get to see what is really going on in your child's life? Do you think that the quest for money or materialism is contributing to this canker?
You know, I'm very passionate, and I can also be very emotional about this topic because, you know, I see a lot of children, and I get very sad, you know, because I also see a lot of friends, I mean, who want the best for their children, and because of that, they are failing in their responsibilities as parents. Parenting, and every child is different.
Exactly,
so
my point.
Even with twins, you can't treat them the same.
Yeah.
So it is a 24-hour job. Parenting, it's a big deal, and so I get very emotional about it when I see that, you know, because if you train a child in the proper way, no matter where they find themselves, because you've instilled good morals in them, principles in them, that is what they go by. So wherever they find themselves, they will live by those principles, and it is very important. You don't expect a teacher to instill morals and discipline in your child. They are adding up to your work.
Yes.
But that work is yours to make, because you want your child to rise up and see you as their first role model before they go and pick somebody on social media as their role model. So if you want your child to see you as that, be that role model. And it starts from home, where you instill morals and discipline in them. I find it very excusable when you say that, oh, I am so busy, and so because of that, I couldn't do A, B, C, D. And you said here. And you don't, say you offer what personal, no? That is how you should take your work personal. You know, when my son and my daughter were in Morning Star, when I go to the school, I know how the girl is, and I know how the boy is. So when they tell me, when I go every end of a year, the term for their reports, and they tell me, oh, because I sit with them, oh, and Hakim did ABC, I will laugh. And I will tell them, you are not telling me anything I don't know. Because what's so no, by the way, you are not surprised.
Yeah.
And when they tell me things about the girl too, I know, because that is. But we are in a. I'm not saying this to say that I am the best parent or no. But it's
Try your
it's
best.
Do your
something
best.
I make it my business. So because I can, you know, I've said this to people that are close to me, that I can fail in any business venture I put myself, but I can never. That is how personal I take my responsibility as a parent, you know. So I can never fail there. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But that's share, want to share ni. No, so it's not something you find, you know, and you are with your kids. I'm holding my phone. The same phone that you are using.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
We are overdoing it.
They love you.
Yeah.
You can't have a child and hate them, but let your children be children.
But I think Aisha,
Parents should allow their children to go through the ropes
The
of
process.
just enjoying being children.
I think that
and
people
don't fast
live,
track them.
I think parents live through their kids lately. And my sisters and I, we always say that. We live
It's a
through
shame.
the children.
It's a
Like,
shame.
okay, when I was young, I
That's
didn't
why
get
I'm
this,
coming back
I
to you for
didn't
one.
get that, I didn't get this. So my kids must get it. So
They
this
will
phone-
get it.
And then you
But
keep giving them
with
material
decorum.
things and
They
not,
must get it with
you
decorum.
know, disciplining
They must
them.
get things with by earning it. Sure.
Exactly.
As a Barras girl, my dad will tell you, I thank God for their lives, my parents, because they instill certain morals in us that is being our guide throughout our lives. And I mean, with you know, like, it's, I don't know any other way, you know, and I see how it's helped almost every child that's been a part of their lives, and so it wasn't a bad thing after all.
IDK.
It wasn't.
You were coming up with a point.
Yeah, so it's you see,
money bit.
one of the things we also have to take notice of is that the upbringing should be depend on what your faith is.
Sure.
It's all part of it.
So religion plays a part.
Yes, religion.
Oh,
The reason why you cannot be unconcerned and say Sundays I'm going to play football, I'm going to drink, I'm going to eat a muto is good. Make sure you wake up in the morning, you say some prayers, do some morning devotions. Keep talking to them with the Bible. If it's the Quran, whatever, Bhagavad Gita, whatever the faith is. But I'm a Christian.
But the time bit she mentioned.
So, yes. So,
It's a way of spending time with your children.
Yes.
No, but she's
And
saying we don't
instilling
have time.
that-
So in a realistic world now where we don't have time, what
So
do
we
you
should
do?
make the time.
You have to make it.
I'm coming. I'm
You
saying
have to make
that
the time.
parenting should be a deliberate effort.
Right.
Yes.
You understand? So you can't just take chances. Once you are able to, you are the first role model to your children. You and your wife, to your children. They want to be like daddy. They want to be like mommy. But after all, there are certain times that children ask for something, you deny them.
Yes.
Even if you have the ability to give.
Intentionally.
Let them end.
When my children ask for things that I think is not needed immediately, I say, when the time is right, I'll let you have it.
That's
but I
right.
don't. You see, how many times do you check to find out what your children are watching on
The
the phone?
search history. We need to check their search history.
You have to. And you see, I am holding an Android phone.
Na makoto mo achi na mezi
And I will
mzamo.
not buy an expensive phone. My
Hey.
little boy, who is 9, Esther is 13, going to 4, Kwame is going to 18. It's only Kwame who owns a phone.
That's it.
After 10 o'clock, Sanya research of no, you have to keep
You
that
have to
phone.
put it-
I pick it.
Yeah.
Intermittently, I'll just sneak chance on him. I'll pick the phone. Then I'll look at what. It's always good to also guide them. And also, you put, now these days, if you go to these phone guys, they'll be able to put these things on that they cannot go to certain
Okay, so yeah, it
areas.
restricts
You
them.
have to
Even on
restrict
their
them.
laptops.
It's important to restrict them.
Even on their laptops.
All these things are, you see, some parents they see the beauty of my child is holding the latest phone, is wearing the latest boots. No, you see, you are over pampering the child, and you are not helping the child. All this upbringing should start from the home. And also let them understand that they should respect whoever they come across. Their own
Whether young
peers,
or old.
their own peers, they should respect them. And you see, allow people to also check your children positively.
It takes a village.
It helps. You are living in an area because you are rich than everybody. You don't talk to anybody. You move your car. You don't even greet.
Mahobium.
You don't even know your next door neighbor. When you have a problem and you are not at home, who do you want to attend to your children? It is good though. That's the essence of our extended family trade those days. That was the reason why when we were growing in the village way back, Christmas we would go with our cousins and all our aunties, 15, 20, togetherness.
If you want to COVID-19,
all these things was for a reason and for a purpose. Well, but sa mateme ho afia busuanim me na me you're right. Me na me okay.
They are all living
Me
in
na me
walled
okay.
houses
Me na
now.
me me back the best school. Etimi nua we ba will say no, you see you are not helping
me
matters.
back.
It is not good. And let's empower our teachers to help
Let's
bring
give them all the support
yes,
they need.
to help bring our children up in the right
Because
direction.
usually from 8 to like 4
Oh.
before school closes, they are in the care of these teachers.
Yeah.
So during all those hours, you are trying to tell me that these teachers cannot control your children for you.
You asked us, you said something. It's not that the people from poor home cannot misbehave, or some of them don't. They do. Sometimes you might have, or even from the rich home, you might have a very good child. But when it goes out there, because of friends, peer pressure,
Yes.
are you monitoring your
That's
child to
what makes
find
them
out
do that.
who is his friend or her friend?
That's
Yeah,
what
I
I
wanted-
said.
It is very important to be
You
sure.
know their friends.
But you see,
Because-
all this is ideal situation where the family is ideal. I'm sure if we start that conversation, we are not ending now, so probably we want to take a break. When we come back, then continue with that.
So, all right. So I'm sure you're also delving deep as we are here in the studios. It's been educative, and informative, and entertaining. We will take a break right now. We'll be back after the break. is the Opinion TV show. Before we left off, we were talking about how parents can contribute or the role they play in this menace of bullying in our wards. But in instances where we don't have the traditional setup, where the father and mother are there present to play a role, and you are living with, let's say, stepmother, single parenting, grannies, and all that, what do we do, Sangmoki?
Yeah, I think that, and that's a very good point we are bringing in here, because we spoke about the idealistic kind of
Family
setting.
setup.
And one was saying he goes to his son or who is 18, and then you take the phone, you check on it, you find out what's going on at random. But in the instance where the person is illiterate, what happens? The person is single parent, doesn't have money at all, very poor, struggling to take the kids to school, and then the children now are tech survey, and then they know better than you. How do you pick their phones and check? You don't even know where to go. In fact, you are even calling them to help you with yours. And you are asking, me pacho be sending me momo check mami. Obi na me who send message via babe so share mami. So they know that they can outwit you, they can outsmart you. They even know more than we do. I like the fact that you said you can take it to these experts who put codes on it, because maybe you can't put the code on it yourself. Because no matter how we try to be in time, it's very difficult to keep up with the trends lately. Even with TikTok, when you go there, you realize that most of these girls who speak profane languages there, the kind of homes they are standing at tells you where they are coming from. To be honest, sometimes I see, by some gutter, some unpainted building and all that, and I could just tell that way ni fie. So nobody has that time to check anything, and they know the kind of homes they are coming from. So when they do that, they don't care, because their parents are not there. Maybe their parents are not even taking care of them. They are hustling to, do the SHS all by themselves. So in discussing this, I feel like when it comes to that, for me, I think the church should play, or the religion should play a key role here, and also the teachers as well. When Aisha made her submission earlier, she said when her child was in Morning Star, you know your child. So when you go there and they mention something about your child, you are not surprised, okay? And it tells you the teacher also knows your child, because the teacher is observing. When I was in school back then, primary school, my report card, I normally check what they write there, like likes reading, likes this, exactly. Parents, but now it's like, if the person doesn't, if the parent doesn't know much, they don't know how that is relevant. Maybe they can't even read. Some of the children don't even bring their reports home. But the teacher, knowing the child, engaging the child, finding out, ono why nete, ono mame nete, ono papa nete, ono nana nete. That psychological bit they learn in school should be able to help them understand the type of child they are dealing with, so that they know the kind of attention they will give to that particular child. Some children are not loved at home. They come to school, engaging them, that no, this child lacks some love at home. So what do I do to help the child? Maybe even engaging the parents wouldn't be good enough, because if it's a step, then it's a problem. But then you find your own way to discipline the child, talk to the child and all that might help psychologically. So I think that's where we can start from.
Lady A, let's hear you.
I think that, like I've said already, I think that we should put more effort in our responsibility as parents. And so I instilled in my kids certain things that before you get certain things, you have to earn it. And see, like he said, the phone thing. 12 years, you get a phone. And there are rules on my phone. So Monday to Friday, you don't have access to it. Friday after school, you get your phone. Sunday by 3:30, the phone must come back to me. It has finished its job. It needs to come back to me. I go through my children's school bag randomly. I'll just check what is in the school bag. Did I put it there? And whatever is there, did I buy it for that child? Because you need to be a part of their dealings, whatever it is. You need to know their friends, and you should know where your children are, and all those things. It is not that you are monitoring them. When it gets to the point where when you develop that kind of relationship with them, it makes it easier for them to come to you and not to their friends when they have any challenge as well. So it is a conscious effort to build that kind of relationship.
So
with
if
your
the
children.
mother and the father are not, let's say some are outside.
And I will also say this because you made
You
that
mentioned
point right
something,
now
I
that
wanted to
about single parenting and all that. I can tell you for free that single parents do the most because you are doing the job of both parents, and most children that have come out of single parenting even turn out better.
Better.
They turn out better
Yeah.
than children who are coming from both parents. Trust me.
Yeah.
I say that with all humility, and I can.
Know what you're
I
saying.
know what I'm saying most times because there's more work for you to do as a mother or as a father because you want your child to turn out right. So to each their own. But it is like I said, it is how you have accepted that responsibility of being a parent.
parent.
It is how you yourself have accepted the responsibility and how far you are willing to go so that you turn out right and your child also turns out right. So it's the effort you also put in your child.
Okay.
When till now, my children are in the university. My sister, every academic term, I know their grades because I mean we've all been to the university. You might choose not to even share those info because those
Exactly.
information that is on their portal. I am not a student. How will I get access to
Access
it?
to the portal.
But I have it. I see it. So you still know how your children are faring.
Yeah.
You know, so this is maybe a parent who is just in the business of her children. But for all that is worth, I need to know. Do you understand?
But let me come in here quickly. You see, sometimes when you raise things, we like to interject
Yeah.
because
Which is fine.
it looks ideal.
We are sharing
but
our
let me say,
opinions, so-
let me use my home as a personal example, okay? So my brother, my junior brother, and I know he'll kill me for this, but I'll say it.
Please pardon
So
us.
he completed uni last year. And he attended UPSC. And my sister is a course coordinator at UPSC and a lecturer at UPSC. So when the results were out, we kept asking after graduation, when he went to graduate, I was like, where are your results? He said, oh, the results are not in and what. We said, okay, no problem. And the results are not in. My mother kept asking, like, how? So I'm like, how do you graduate without results? Because Charlie, you go school with your baby. So how do you go? Oh, my results are not in. We said, okay, no problem. Then my sister said, sang, and how cry?
Check it.
She just went on the net,
Yeah,
then
because
she coded.
she's there.
And then she got the results. It was like, she printed it and said, oh, junior results in the everybody saw what he got. It was like, oh, I didn't want you to know and all that because he felt he didn't do well enough. You
But was he
understand?
intending to rewrite or something?
No, he has no rewrite.
So-
but he just felt like maybe he
Why
needed
didn't
to
you
get
want to
a
show
better
it?
grade.
Okay.
And then he felt he was looking for the appropriate time to communicate what he
communicate it to
had.
you.
He wasn't too happy about what he got, okay? But we advised him, talked him into
Yeah.
starting his master's, so he's even started that. But my point is, if we had not been educated or hadn't
wouldn't
had
have
the
known.
system, and if you're a parent and you are not at
You
that
are busy,
level,
you don't have time. You don't
So
even-
it's the same thing I'm
Exactly.
saying.
that's
You know,
why I said I was saying
so-
to buttress your point.
Yeah.
That,
I
you know,
think-
not the
but
best
I
outcome.
think- please come in.
You see, this show is also to educate.
Yeah.
That's right.
And we need to let people out there know there are ways to go about it. You don't necessarily have to be educated to be a parent.
Yeah.
Their parents.
We've
that
seen
be-
parents who have never stepped to school. They can't
They've
even
raised
write this,
good
but
children.
they've raised good children.
They are
who
scholars today.
Scholars
They are
today.
whatever they
It is the
chosen to be.
discipline.
A discipline.
Because onimo obekwa kobusa ni teacher.
That is the
Onimo
point.
obekwa the next person. Ọtí ni neighbor ní sọ power ẹ̀ kratchi ọsẹ o. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ ẹ̀kú. Wọ́n ṣe àdé ma mi
Maybe
sá.
you say you
That is how sanity
You get a
are.
second opinion.
I know now we are parents.
Yes.
It is not being comfortable
Because
and saying
make it your
because
business.
I am uneducated and so how
Yeah,
no.
be.
Because the kids will
That
always
is
make you feel
skills.
you are not woke enough. The kids are
Even
like
as
that.
you are educated, no one can person.
Yes.
Ọmọ sọ ọmọ fire so.
I'm so be too.
That's
I'm
the
just
point.
Wow,
making.
I'm Bebusa say a topic
Aye.
to it. Yeah, now I'm
Yes,
no,
They
I
want to
don't
be.
do
They
that.
want
Yeah,
to beat
you
you
should-
to
you
it.
I always want to find out. So
Yeah,
I will
if
go to the
it's
school
true or not.
to find out whether it is true or not. You understand?
You will tell me. I
And-
still want to
and-
know.
And you see, if
Latest
we
one,
don't
you got them, come over.
if we don't do some of these things, these checks and balances, and we are okay with whatever our kids tells us, no, we will not be helping them.
Because-
as parents, even sometimes when you are disciplining your children, you feel it. But that is the hallmark
That
of
is the
parents.
love. That is
And
the love.
Hard love.
You see,
you give it to them. Tough love.
You discipline them when the needs comes.
Yes.
And after that, you
embrace
have them.
them.
You embrace them.
Done.
Dropping, be part of your children's upbringing. You say, for the past 4 or 5 years, it's been my policy when I'm around to always drop them at school. drop them at school.
As you're going, you are talking.
I told my wife, I said, honey, because of your job, sometimes you have to wake up very early, drive. I am doing my own work now. You go. I will drop them.
Yeah.
Because after all, we were meetings, I isolate my meetings.
Yeah.
So I would drop them, hug them, goodbye. Sometimes even around, pick them. You understand? And I engage all their teachers. I'm okay with their class teachers. I'm okay with their head teachers. I go to their schools and I engage them. So everybody knows me. Hey, Mr. Daku. So I have given them the free will, the teachers. And my children, I've told them, don't be afraid of me. If you can't tell me, you tell mommy. But try, I won't do anything to you. Look, I will never do anything to you. I will always sit you down. And sometimes, if you're able to come out, and when you do that, let your children see you as a father for all and an open parent.
Comfortable to discuss things with you.
That is when their peers cannot influence them negatively. You are the first to know when they are going. And see, know your children. So sometimes as a parent, you need to be observant. The moment your child changes a bit, you are able to know
You see it.
that this is not coming from my home. Then there's an external influence. That is what makes you a smart parent.
Yes.
Then quickly you need to confront your child and say, hey, Jack, this attitude is not coming from my home. Where is it coming from? I know you picked it. What happened? Why this way? We're able to engage them not by screaming, by shouting, comfortably at their own. Sometimes I do one-on-one. The other time my boy was behaving, I sit him down, catch him, he said, no. Because I not do baby discipline. I'm a lucky done. I'm calm, man, born tree. I'll bring the belly full out of you. You understand? So,
Periodically, they need that.
yes, after that, Charlie, the next morning, I called you and said, Jack, you know me and you'll be cool. That's not how they brought me up. That's how I'm able to be responsible and bringing you guys up. So, Charlie, I want
Mintie.
But IDK,
you know.
do you think that when these kids get into SHS, occultism plays a role in this attitude of bully and superiority and authority,
Not only occultism,
and power and all
lesbianism
that?
and gayism and all those things you called it.
It makes them feel some sense of false power.
Cultism, you see, that's why religion comes to play. If you don't teach them the way they should grow with the Bible or wherever, the Quran, that is where they will lack those disciplines. They will you see the convictions. Once they have it, they always remember, even when you are being approached negatively, they say, oh, Sunday school, cry, chance idea way here. So because of that, it is good for us to, bring them up with religion, help them, let them come and love, the word. Let them appreciate the word. Because see, if you allow them to go have their own way, you might not know the spiritual effect or consequences the other person will imbibe into them. That is very critical. And we as parents have to admit, everybody has a weakness. All of us sitting here have our flaws. But the things that were not good for us, we should not allow our children to also pick it. You understand?
Let me chip in a quick story. When I was going to school, my mother and my auntie told me that when you go to school and you see somebody, I think they exaggerated though. Go school now, who be that? Like the way it's like be careful, and all those stories. Hey, when I see somebody something, hey, you say? But it helped me because Fantaman is known for lesbianism.
Yes.
So I didn't get close to that, but I had some of my friends. Later, I had some kids girls in school and all that. But because of what I was told, I was so afraid of every girl that you can't come to me and try to, coax me into becoming a lesbian. But some did it in school and have even taken it far from there.
See, the danger is that some of these things, they need help, psychological helps. Some of these practice probably started with their house helps, housemates. Because you don't have the opportunity, so they imbibe that into them. At a tender age, without you even knowing, because you as a parent didn't have time.
That's the point.
So when they go and they find these friends and also push them into it, it becomes very difficult for them to opt out. It has gone to affect a lot of marriage up to now. People, I know of a story in an area I can't mention them, but there's a learned lawyer. The wife had a partner. And then now so I had a partner somewhere.
A lesbian partner.
Yes, I mean a married woman with kids. But on the other side, I had a lesbian partner. I'm a bed posh house near the man or sponsor. And sometimes and you see unknowingly to the man all this, but we the people around the area, we knew of it. You could sit and some of these are our friends. And ladies confining now, we sit with them, you know, and they are telling us, oh, you know, and so it's sad. But they need help until they get it. Look, it's only God.
Yeah.
It's everybody, the weakness is there as man. So we have to thank our stars that when we are bringing these kids up, we need to bring them up in a way that they cannot depart from the truth and also uphold the values of Christendom. That is the only way. So sometimes you feel tired to go to church, but because of the kids, you send them there for them to have a word, listen to the word. That it's only when sometimes you could find your kids going somewhere that group I say no, maybe I meet him in co. No, why? Because he remembers what he was told at church. Wow, and yet easy. Oh, and you know, sometimes you don't blame them, but we have to do our part as parents. We also have to allow the teachers to also tell us the things that they see. Ask questions, visit the teacher. Sometimes just visit them. Just you pay attention and say, oh, Charlie, I want to know about my kids. How are they doing? How is his performance, his attitude, his behavior? Let me know. The teachers will tell. When you begin to do that, they know you are a parent, that you are open. They will tell you all that is there for you to know. So you guys, both the teacher and the parent, will begin to find a way, you know, in bringing them back to the right track.
But when you say occultism, I even think that it's even extreme, though it's rampant. But it even starts from cliques in school. Like in school, it's just a basic thing as being part of a clique. That's where the problems begin. Because when you say occultism and the child goes to school, because they are thinking occultism is maybe chanting and all of us going together to. No, I know. I'm saying that. I'm saying. Please, you don't get me. I'm saying it's there. But as simple as being part of a clique could lead you astray, even without you being part of an occult group. That's what I'm saying. Because all your friends are going out, breaking. You don't need to be part of an occult to break bounds. But if you are caught, you could be dismissed. You get it? You could stay back and say you are not going to worship or you are not going for church service. You don't need to be part of an occult to do that. But you are a clique. And because all your friends say we are not going, you know, you are not woke enough. So you say, oh, then my friends are not going, so let me stay behind with them. And then the teacher comes and meets you and says that we are dismissing you because, or your friends say, oh, we are not going for interco. Or maybe you go for interco and then they have entertainment. We are not going for this. Or maybe you meet another school for interco or superzo and then you lost. Then they are like, you don't need to be part of a local to beat them. You can just because your clique are doing that, you can do that. So I'm saying sometimes when these things are happening, yes, they chant and all. I mean, when we're in school, we used to hear stories of other schools. I don't want to mention this, but they kind of chew me. But then I think that simple being part of a clique, sometimes the children are not mature enough to know that these things my friends are doing are not good. And so let me not be part of them. And so that's where when you brought the teacher, that's where the teachers come in. And then the house mistresses and the headmasters. Because when you let they as a parent, you let them have interest in your child, they can tell you, Obano say Oba school.
But they see them.
Akwa we nanti. Akwa we mempe zene o. Akwa we onu wi pa zene mempe so be di nechi. You get it? You know, so some teachers will even tell you say akwa we onu a minister we and say MP we but onu sika ofie party no. Mema on fa then because onu kwa say mu a ye betwitwa de no. But maybe your child cannot get that. So it's something that is important.
Peer pressure plays a major role.
It is.
You know, because you might have a child that is coming from a very good home.
Peer pressure,
to school, and peer pressure will set in. And so the level of confidence that was instilled in them, Ebiana is not too they will fall for it. So again, parenting comes in again. In instilling morals and discipline and everything in your child, let your child feel special. Let them have that self-confidence in themselves first. Because that is where down for because man but say as yes okwa wonya guy me mama me papa say me a guy.
Yeah, guy, yeah.
So they are okay. If not, that is how peer pressure comes in, and then ba what it's in the camera. I wouldn't say acquired the old thing, say now obeko school, and then unfortunately they will go and fall into this kind of peer pressure group, and then you hear things that they are saying about your child. You don't believe it, but unfortunately it will be true. You know, obi anywhere ne banyo obi abaye, you know, but they say want to take akwalabone da also na wonim parenting, and also na also wonim akwalase, until your child gives you a shock. You understand? So instilling them. You do a follow up. So you go to school. Because house mistress and the teachers are the ones that eventually get to know your child, because they spend more time in school than they will if they were in like primary school, that they go and come back to you in the house. So let them make them their business, because they get to know them more. See, like we said, no, they will be able to identify of course, the bad one from the good ones. So if your child is associating with a bad student, they should be able to tell you and question. And because you've given them the rights, they will now be able to even pick a phone and tell you that, I think you should come and talk to your child because of A, B, C, D. That is if they have spoken to him or her and they are not, listening. So it plays a role. But from the time you give birth to a child until you leave this world, they are your business. Only born a brass said then still buy some for some. So you need to make them your business.
One quick one. Again, you see, this practice of having house helps, it's not a bad idea.
No, that wahala.
But so I keep telling my wife, I applaud her a lot. I say, look, my last boy is 9. When he got to 5, we stopped from having any house help. Since that time till now, my boy at the age of 5 years, in fact 4 years, my wife started, you wash your own school socks, your underpanties and your singlet. Now, from the age of 5 up to now, even now, 8 years now, we see the school uniform, we see the BBR, we are wato. And that boy, you see, and I think it's what you put them through. So I keep telling my wife, Charlie, honey, you've trained these kids. Why are they? But sometimes I'm not there. But when I'm there, but look, Saturday morning, so we don't use the washing machine often. It's a deliberate attempt for them to learn how to wash. So now they wash. My boy went to school pre-sec. He came by and said, look, Daddy, all the guys, there was a guy in a school. The mother bought white shirt in Kwan 20. Kaki trousers in Kwan 20 because onim adesi. O short ade ba Kwan. No wa jago.
But even if you have helps, you should make it a conscious effort.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That even when the kids get to a certain stage, involve them in the house chores. Share for them. Today you sweep the hall. You mop the kitchen. Okay,
it's a training.
Go and slash the onions for me. You go and you teach them all these things so that they will become
self-employed.
I remember my dad.
I grew up more with my mom and my dad at the age of when we were going to secondary school. Myself and my sibling, my brothers, we prepare our own shit. At the age of 8 years,
Really?
I enjoy cooking. Even as I'm here, I go to Hato Kaswa. My name is Richard. We all live in Kaswa area. We go to my Omunimi and Pa. Me shop it. Me go my wife, my baby. It's when I have the time, I will do it. So I think that. So I don't even wait for when I'm hungry. I'll cook. I can stand prepared 2 different stews.
I think that will lead to where Aisha was, that your daughter had a problem with her colleague. Yeah. Maybe the child doesn't do anything.
He doesn't do anything. And the other thing is that with this 20 pairs of shirts and 20 pairs of khaki, in the same school, which I've mentioned already, you find parents coming to the school to visit their children, and when they come, you see their drivers carrying the water they brought for
food,
their child, and the things, and then
the child is carrying
nothing. And I never be jamming because I did not understand it. Like, what are you teaching your child?
Right.
No mentality. And then they pick their laundry and take it home
Yeah,
for them, and then bring
wash
them
it and bring
clean
it back.
clothes.
Wow.
Because this school, they don't wear, they don't have a house uniform.
Yeah,
So they
they
wear
wear
like
mufti.
normal house
Yeah.
clothes in the school. So every 2 weeks, the parents come and pick the dirty clothes, take it home so that somebody will wash it, and then they'll bring their children
Wow.
clean clothes.
That is
And
bad.
I
That
see
is
it and
bad.
I'm like,
Dear
But
parents,
what
it's
is going on?
happening. It's
This is
going on.
And it's happening, and I'm
It
like,
is
this
happening.
going
There
on?
is disrespect.
This
So
is
why
not
won't
fair.
a child tell my daughter that, hey, you baby, I'm not going to show free bar? But it's because of the
Discipline,
training and the discipline that she has been given. That is why you think that you have an upper hand on her, but you do not have any upper hand
All
on her.
right, all
You
right,
do
all
not.
right. Pull the brakes, pull the
Hey,
You are
Damo-
getting too passionate.
No, I told you already. I cannot stand it. Like,
All right,
really.
viewers, we will take a quick break. We will be back shortly. Please stay. And we are back. All right, so our hack for the day. Are you ready? Are you ready for the hack of the day?
Yes.
All right, so in case you have tummy ache, stomach ache, just do this simple thing. Take charcoal, okay, grind charcoal, and just take it in and drink some water, and you will be fine. In some instances, you can add a little bit of salt, grind it together, and drink it. Voila. In some few minutes, you will be fine. Just try it.
If symptoms persist after 3 days,
Consult your-
your doctor.
Don't say I didn't tell you.
Well, since
Ladies-
we're talking about taking in something with hacks today, then in the same vein, if you're having an upset stomach or running stomach, as we call it, and it's not going away, just get your Coke, put in some salts, and digest it, and
You should be
All
fine.
right.
within a few minutes,
You will be fine.
you'll be fine. This one
Yeah, that is.
it's been tested
Oh yeah, all the
so
time.
many times, and I can tell you for free,
Natural ORS.
It works.
Artificial.
it works and it works.
All right, so before we
yes.
wrap up, few seconds each.
And this one, Crowder, you can use it more if you're pregnant. You know, when you're
Ish,
pregnant, you
ish.
can't take in a lot of medication.
Yeah.
So if you're pregnant and you're for whatever reason you had something eating, and because I learned that when I was pregnant
Oh, okay.
through a doctor friend of mine who they wouldn't give me any medication because it was not normal, the kind of running. So they said, no, we can't give you medications, but this is how we can be helped. Coke with salt.
Sang,
Trust
I'm
me,
coming
and
to
it really
you.
works.
Few seconds. So let's say you've encountered a child who has been bullied before in school, or someone listening to us right now who has encountered bullying. How do you help the person, or what do you say to the person to gain or come out of that trauma? Sometimes it can be very traumatic. What do you tell the person to come out of that trauma?
For me, I want to act as if I'm a psychologist. So the first point of all will be go for therapy. I think schools then should have people, experts
guiding
there
and
to
counseling
guide,
sections.
to guide the children and not be judgmental about that. And also churches should do that. So that's how I go about it.
IDK.
I think to help, us keep this bullying thing, the teachers, there should be frequent monitoring at playgrounds, at entertainment, during prep on isolate games, sports games. I mean, dormitories.
Yeah, washrooms.
There should be, and the washrooms, there should be regular inspection and checks. And also, they should have forums where they will talk to students about bullying so that they can desist from. And then also have an open door policy that students can confine. Train some of the students to become leaders in that, so that if they can't go to the
Teacher.
they can go to that
Some of the student leaders.
and then they can help some of these people who
Lady
have
A,
challenges.
how do we help a child who has been bullied or is experiencing bullying in SHS?
We should encourage them to speak up. and we should be kind, to them. We should create a safe environment where these children can comfortably and conveniently come and be heard and be listened to. Is very important. And there's nothing that the word of God also doesn't do. So we should always um, try to give them this advice with the word of God as well. So I think that we should be there and be supportive for them, so that together they can, get that safe place and also be able to speak up. It's very important.
So you heard it. You heard our guests. You heard our my fellow co-hosts. Please, as parents, let's be involved in the upbringing of our children. Let's not overlove them to distraction. We are begging you. And GES, please bring back corporal punishment.
Advocates.
To bring some decency and sanity in our SHS. Okay? We are begging you. This has been the Opinion TV show. Thank you so much for sticking and staying with us. See you again next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.